baby, there was a guy online from Baltimore who was claiming to be her baby dad. He ended up getting...
From the very first second, this story cracked open. The internet felt like someone dropped a lit match into a swimming pool full of gasoline. Because when Jason Lee and Natalie Nunn decided they were done playing nice and started ripping through Chrisean Rock's claims one by one, the drama didn't just escalate, it detonated. This wasn't a clapback. This wasn't a read. This was a full-blown homicide of narratives, delivered with the confidence of two people who thrive on chaos for breakfast. What makes it even wilder is that this entire bombshell was never supposed to leak. Insiders swear the truth Jason and Natalie revealed was meant to stay buried under layers of PR, lies, and Chrisean's signature. I said what I said attitude. But once the receipts started dropping, the internet realized it wasn't dealing with normal drama. It was facing a storyline so messy it makes the Kardashians look like a quiet church choir. Screenshots surfaced, voice notes leaked, and people started questioning everything they thought they knew. And just when fans thought the fire couldn't get hotter, the Blueface truth bombshell hit like a meteor. The kind that wipes out dinosaurs, timelines, and Chrisean's entire internet persona in one single explosion. This isn't drama. This is a demolition. And you're about to witness every second of the impact. The drama began the way all legendary internet catastrophes begin, with one tiny leak that wasn't even supposed to escape the group chat. At first, fans noticed Jason Lee's tone shifting. His posts felt sharper. His sentences carried that "I'm about to drop receipts" flavor he only uses when he's ready to slice someone with the truth. People sensed he knew something. But nobody expected him to target Chrisean Rock with the precision of a surgeon holding a chainsaw. It was the calm before a storm, so violent it should have come with a weather alert. Then Natalie Nunn entered the scene like a chaos grenade with lashes. She didn't slide into the conversation quietly. She bulldozed her way in with the confidence of someone who has ruined entire franchises with a single sentence. Natalie wasn't here to debate, discuss, or dissect. She was here to detonate. The minute she opened her mouth, the internet knew Chrisean was about to face the kind of exposure no ring light can soften. The tension skyrocketed as fans realized this wasn't gossip. This was an autopsy. Receipts started surfacing faster than Chrisean posts a meltdown. Screenshots, messages, behind the scenes, whispers, all pointing to one thing. Her version of events wasn't adding up. Jason Lee didn't hold back. He dragged every inconsistency into the spotlight, peeling back layers that Chrisean desperately wanted hidden. And he did it with that signature Hollywood Unlocked smirk. The one that says, "I'm not messy, I'm investigative." Meanwhile, Natalie amplified everything like a megaphone dipped in gasoline. People were stunned at how detailed Jason's information was. These weren't vague accusations or recycled rumors. These were insider-level truths, so crisp. They felt like they came straight from Blueface's private conversations. Fans began to question how long Jason had been collecting this information and whether he'd been waiting for the perfect moment to strike. It felt calculated, methodical, and scarily intentional. Even Chrisean's supporters held their breath. The internet lit up instantly. Jason's exposing her. Natalie too. Oh, she's done. Timeline after timeline flooded with reactions, memes, theories, and confusion. No one recognized the version of events Jason and Natalie were presenting. It completely contradicted Chrisean's long-standing narrative, the one she'd shouted from rooftops and live streams for years. Suddenly, her confidence looked less like strength and more like desperation wrapped in denial. But the real shockwave hit when Blueface's truth bomb finally entered the chat. Jason hinted at it subtly, the way storytellers tease a final twist in the last chapter. He revealed information that directly challenged Chrisean's claims about her relationship with Blueface, her role in his life, and the entire timeline she's used to justify her messy decisions. Fans began combing through old interviews, realizing things she said didn't match things Blueface did, and the contradictions grew louder by the second. Natalie Nunn. Being the queen of televised chaos didn't just confirm Jason's claims, she added flames. She spoke with the confidence of someone who has witnessed Chrisean behind the scenes and is no longer willing to stay quiet. Her tone carried irritation, exhaustion, and a hint of "Girl, stop lying. We've seen you." She exposed private moments, crew conversations, and behavioral patterns fans never heard before. Each revelation tore another chunk off. Chrisean's public persona. What made the entire moment explode was how synchronized Jason and Natalie appeared. They weren't arguing. They weren't guessing. They were presenting a united, unstoppable front aimed directly at Chrisean's credibility. Fans joked that it felt like a tag team wrestling match where one fighter punches the other elbows. And Chrisean is lying in the ring trying to scream fake news while everyone watches receipts piling up on her face. It was brutal, cinematic, and painfully believable. Chrisean's reaction was instant, defensive, erratic, and explosive. She went live repeatedly, pacing, yelling, contradicting herself and accusing everyone of betrayal. But her rants lacked the usual chaotic confidence fans were used to. For the first time, she sounded cornered. Her pauses grew longer, her explanations grew thinner, and her anger sounded rooted in panic more than pride. Her energy didn't scream, "I'm right," screamed, "I need this to not be true." Meanwhile, Jason continued unloading facts like a machine built for destruction. He talked about timelines, conversations, behavior patterns, and verifiable insider details. The more he spoke, the less plausible Chrisean's story became. Fans started replaying his clips, analyzing his tone, and realizing he wasn't guessing. He was reporting. Natalie backed him with her own behind-the-scenes knowledge, filling in gaps and exposing inconsistencies with receipts. Only someone inside the industry would know. The turning point arrived when Jason revealed information directly contradicting Chrisean's claims about Blueface's involvement. He explained things she exaggerated, things she twisted, and things she flat out invented. It felt like he removed the foundation of her narrative brick by brick until the whole structure collapsed. Fans were stunned. Some said she's been lying this whole time. Others said there's no coming back from this. And then Natalie dropped her final bomb, a statement so brutal the internet stopped mid-scroll. She revealed a detail so specific, so raw, and so impossible for Chrisean to spin that even her most loyal supporters fell silent. It was like Natalie ripped the Band-Aid off a wound Chrisean pretended didn't exist. And once that truth was out, the floodgates opened. Fans turned. Critics swarmed. The narrative shattered by the end of the day. Jason, Lee, and Natalie Nunn had built a case stronger than half the court documents Blueface ever posted. Their dynamic wasn't gossip, it was prosecution. They exposed contradictions, uncovered hidden truths, and dismantled Chrisean's version of reality one fact at a time. The internet didn't just believe them, it sided with them. Because, for the first time, the truth didn't come from Chrisean's mouth. It came from people who'd seen the real story. And the world realized they might have been cheering for a lie. The moment the truth started spreading, the internet didn't just heat up, it caught fire. Like somebody microwaved a bag of popcorn with the metal still inside. Memes erupted instantly, painting Chrisean as a walking contradiction factory while Jason and Natalie were crowned the new Avengers of exposing lies. One meme showed Natalie with Thor's hammer smashing a broken narrative, while Jason held Captain America's shield labeled receipts. The timelines were flooded with jokes so savage even Burna Boy would call them too hot. Celebrities began chiming in like they'd been waiting for this. Rappers tweeted cryptic laughing emojis. Reality stars posted long "I tried to warn y'all" captions. Comedians roasted the situation in skits that hit 1 million views before lunch. Even washed-up influencers crawled back to relevancy just to say, "I always knew something was off." Everyone wanted a piece of the action because nothing boosts engagement. It's like a celebrity meltdown, and two professionals dissecting it with surgical precision. Meanwhile, TikTok entered full detective mode. People were slowing down Chrisean's lives frame by frame like they were analyzing FBI surveillance footage. They zoomed in on her eyes, her pauses, her shaky voice. Everything became a clue. Others stitched Jason's videos with old clips of Chrisean contradicting herself, turning each stitch into a digital autopsy. It felt like a courtroom, and the jury consisted of millions of people scrolling from their beds. Natalie Nunn didn't stop either. She kept dropping hints, comments, and sly remarks that turned the internet upside down. Every time she spoke, fans waited like they were watching the season finale of a reality show. Her sentences had weight, credibility, and that signature Natalie spice that makes even the truth sound like a drag race. She turned into a walking meme generator. And every clip of her talking hit the trending page within minutes. Jason Lee remained the calm executioner. His delivery was so clean and confident that people started calling him the IRS of Hollywood gossip because he collects everything and misses nothing. He explained timelines clearer than Chrisean ever could. And his breakdowns made her stories look like children's coloring books scribbled outside the lines. Fans said he carried himself like a judge delivering a verdict, not a blogger dropping tea. As the internet absorbed more receipts, the tone shifted from funny to uncomfortable. Suddenly, people weren't laughing at Chrisean. They were analyzing her. Her contradictions became patterns. Her lies became tactics. Her chaos started looking deliberate, not accidental. Influencers began posting videos titled, "Is Chrisean manipulating the narrative?" and "Have we been misled this whole time?" The public started realizing they weren't watching a drama. They were watching a strategy collapse. Then came Blueface's unexpected impact. Even though he wasn't physically involved, his name hovered over the scandal like a thundercloud. People started digging up old interviews, rewatching his clips, and connecting dots that made Chrisean's claims look shakier by the second. Suddenly, things she said years ago didn't match the evidence Jason and Natalie were presenting. Blueface's silence became louder than any rant Chrisean posted. The memes got darker too. One viral image showed Chrisean running from Jason and Natalie holding receipts like cartoon villains. Another showed Blueface sitting on a throne labeled "I warned y'all," with fans bowing in the background. Even late-night hosts joked about the drama, comparing Chrisean's narrative to a reality show produced by a malfunctioning robot. The jokes hit harder each hour. But the real twist came when a behind-the-scenes voice note leaked from someone on the production side of Chrisean's previous show. The audio hinted that the crew had seen her lying repeatedly and covering her tracks. Suddenly, the internet went silent. Then it exploded even louder. This wasn't fan speculation anymore. This was someone inside confirming Jason and Natalie weren't exaggerating. People replayed the voice note so many times it practically became a TikTok sound. Chrisean tried to fight back. She went live again, talking faster than her brain could process, bouncing between topics like she was speedrunning a meltdown. But the comments weren't supporting her anymore. They were questioning her, calling her out, asking for proof, asking why she contradicted herself, asking why Jason and Natalie's stories aligned so perfectly while hers fell apart like wet tissue paper. It was the first time her live-streamed aggression didn't intimidate the viewer. Natalie responded to Chrisean's live with the kind of shade only a seasoned reality star could deliver. She laughed, shook her head, and said, "These lies are tiered, baby." That clip alone hit 5 million views in 12 hours. People stitched it into every meme possible. It became the official soundtrack of the collapse of Chrisean's credibility. Natalie didn't need paragraphs. She destroyed an entire narrative with one sentence: Jason. Meanwhile, continued dropping clarifications like a professor correcting essays. He calmly responded with straightforward facts that made everything Chrisean said look increasingly fabricated. His tone wasn't angry, it was disappointed. And for the internet, disappointment from Jason Lee was infinitely worse than rage. Fans didn't just watch Chrisean fall apart. They watched her unravel in slow motion while Jason narrated the process. By now, the public perception had flipped completely. Chrisean, once viewed as chaotic but authentic, now looked chaotic and deceptive. The trust people placed in her was cracking. And Jason and Natalie were gaining respect in real time. They weren't just exposing lies, they were highlighting the emotional manipulation behind them. People realized Chrisean wasn't just dramatic. She was dangerous with her narrative. Then came the biggest twist. Blueface's family got involved. Subtle comments, shady posts, and quiet confirmations started slipping through. The family began supporting Jason and Natalie indirectly, liking posts that exposed Chrisean's inconsistencies. Fans said it felt like everyone who knew the real story had been waiting for this moment to finally speak up. And now that the dam broke, the flood poured through with unstoppable force. The entire internet united under one shocking realization: Jason Lee and Natalie Nunn weren't attacking Chrisean. They were revealing the truth she had buried under chaos. And with every word they exposed, the narrative shifted harder and harder against her. The world wasn't laughing anymore. It was judging. When the dust finally began to settle, the internet realized this wasn't just another celebrity argument, it was the public demolition of Chrisean Rock's credibility. The fallout hit harder than anyone expected. Blogs, podcasts, reaction channels, everyone started echoing the same sentiment: we've been played. Overnight, Chrisean wasn't the fearless rebel of social media anymore. She became the main suspect in a massive digital deception, exposed by two people who weren't scared to swing the truth like a hammer. The avalanche didn't stop there. Once Jason Lee and Natalie Nunn dismantled her story piece by piece, influencers who previously supported her suddenly switched sides. They began posting long explanations about why they always had doubts, conveniently forgetting they spent months cheering for her chaos. It felt like watching rats jump off a sinking ship. But this ship wasn't sinking. It was being torched publicly. Every day brought a new voice calling her out, a new receipt surfacing, or a new analysis tearing her narrative apart. Chrisean tried fighting back at first. She doubled down, denied everything, and threw accusations like confetti. But the internet wasn't buying it anymore. People demanded proof, timelines, clarity, three things she never provided. Her usual defense mechanism of loudness and emotion suddenly stopped working. Instead of sympathy, her rage triggered skepticism. Instead of loyalty, her tears sparked suspicion. The comments under her lives turned from support to interrogation in real time. Blueface's truth bomb made everything worse. The information Jason and Natalie revealed lined up perfectly with things Blueface had hinted at over the years. Suddenly, his interviews didn't look bitter. They looked accurate. The internet rewatched clips of him warning fans about manipulation, about fake narratives, about stories being twisted to protect Chrisean's image. People realized he wasn't ranting. He was confessing. And now, thanks to Jason and Natalie, everything clicked, like puzzle pieces finally locking together. The biggest shift happened in the fan community. Supporters who were once fiercely loyal began whispering doubts. Fan pages quietly changed their tone. Some shut down completely. Others rebranded. The audience that once defended Chrisean like a warrior army suddenly felt betrayed. They weren't just shocked, they were embarrassed. They had spent months believing a story that was now collapsing like a sandcastle in high tide. And there's nothing more dangerous than a fan base that realizes it's been fooled. Meanwhile, Jason Lee stood taller than ever. His reputation as a truth teller skyrocketed. Even people who previously disliked him began praising the way he broke the story clean, factual, professional, and brutal. He didn't yell, he didn't insult, he didn't exaggerate. He presented the truth with the composure of a professor and the precision of a sniper. His calmness made Chrisean's chaos look even louder, even more unhinged. And the internet loves a calm villain who exposes a loud liar. Natalie Nunn came out looking like a reality TV superhero. Not only did she expose Chrisean's lies, she did it with style, confidence, and enough sass to power a whole season of Bad Girls Club. Her one-liners became captions. Her reactions became memes. Her expressions became GIFs. People called her the CEO of telling it like it is. Involvement turned a scandal into a cultural moment. The moment where Chrisean's uncontested narrative finally met its match. As the truth spread wider, brands began paying attention. Companies don't like chaos unless it sells. And Chrisean's chaos wasn't entertaining anymore. It was concerning. Word began circulating that some brands were reconsidering future deals. Publicists allegedly advised clients to distance themselves from the Rock storyline. The shift was quiet but noticeable. The tidal wave had broken, and the undertow was pulling Chrisean down faster than she could fight it. For Blueface's family, the reveal brought a shocking wave of vindication. Comments from relatives, subtle likes, shady emojis, everything signaled the same message. We tried to tell y'all. The internet finally saw they weren't the villains Chrisean painted them to be. Instead, they had been battling a narrative that was built on unreliable storytelling and emotional manipulation. People started apologizing to them publicly, admitting they had believed the wrong person for too long. Chrisean's emotional stability became a topic of public debate. Some viewers expressed concern, saying she needed help, not heat. Others argued she had weaponized her vulnerability for too long and used it to shield herself from accountability. It was the first time the internet saw her not as a tragic hero, but as someone who had contributed heavily to her own downfall. That shift alone was a bigger blow than any receipt Jason or Natalie dropped. Every day after the expose, a new piece of the puzzle fell into place. Clips from old shows resurfaced showing contradictions. Former friends hinted they weren't surprised. Commentators pointed out red flags fans ignored for months. Even minor details, timestamps, phrases, deleted posts started aligning with Jason and Natalie's version of events. It felt like watching an entire illusion crumble under its own weight. The impact stretched far beyond one scandal. It changed the conversation about celebrity influence, emotional manipulation, and how easily audiences can be swayed by charisma over facts. The internet began using Chrisean's collapse as a case study for blind loyalty and parasocial relationships gone wrong. It became a moment where people stepped back and realized, not everything dramatic is authentic. Not every tear is truth. Not every meltdown is innocence. As for Jason and Natalie, they didn't gloat. They didn't celebrate. They simply let their revelations speak for themselves. And that silence hit harder than any victory lap could have. They knew the internet would do the rest, and oh, it did. It dragged, roasted, analyzed, and archived every moment of Chrisean's unraveling until her narrative felt like ancient mythology. By the end of the week, one thing was undeniable. Chrisean Rock wasn't the hero of her story anymore. She wasn't even the narrator. She had become the cautionary tale. Jason Lee and Natalie Nunn didn't just expose her. They reset the entire narrative, and the world is now watching what she does next, with sharper eyes and zero patience for lies. And if you're still here after witnessing Jason Lee slice the truth open, Natalie Nunn stomp on the lies, and Chrisean Rock's entire narrative crumble like a stale cookie, congratulations, you officially survived another chapter of celebrity chaos that went from funny to fatal in record time. You've basically watched a live-action demolition, but with better lighting and a louder fan base. So before the next meltdown hits, your notifications like an unpaid bill. Smash that like button like it owes you rent money. Seriously. Hit it so hard the algorithm wakes up thinking Blueface just dropped another bombshell. Subscribe too, because clearly the world refuses to give us peace. Every time we blink, someone lies, someone exposes the lie, and someone else shows up with a voice note recorded on a potato. And you know, we're the place that turns that madness into art, chaos into commentary, and scandals into cinema. Turn on your notifications before the next celebrity decides to go live crying in a dimly lit bathroom. Drop a comment and let me. Are you Team Jason, Team Natalie, or Team Chrisean? Please log out for 24 hours and drink water. Tell me which receipt shocked you the most, which meltdown made you spit out your drink. Or which moment made you question if humanity is just a reality show run by caffeine and bad decisions? Trust me, your comments fuel me like a Natalie Nunn rant on national TV. And don't forget, drama never sleeps. It doesn't rest. It doesn't retire. It simply evolves into a bigger, louder, wilder storyline waiting to catch you off guard. So stay locked in, stay entertained, and stay ready. Because this is Expose Express, where lies get buried, truth gets loud, and the scandals never stop breathing.